Hello everybody, and we're doing a Nightreign video, and this is going to be a pretty straightforward, simple video. It's just going to be a tier list with actually some tips and tricks for the bosses and the Everdark bosses themselves. I'm joined here with my buddy Colton and Kim Killer. So I hope you guys enjoy the tier list. I hope it helps out, and yeah, this is where we placed everything. Alrighty. All right, so simple enough, right? We'll just go in order, I guess. I think that makes the most sense. So the original Gladius,
Yeah.
not even counting. I don't think we count their scenes as a thing with the tier list here specifically because I don't think scenes make or break the boss fight. I think they definitely can be like one of those things where you beat him and you go, wow, this scene's insane. I'm glad I fought this boss. But I also think at the same time, a lot of the base bosses, some of their scenes are pretty great, but that doesn't inherently mean like the boss fight itself is the best thing ever. So I feel like that should be its own separate thing if that was ever to be made. I think this should just be the boss fight itself.
Plus, it's very character dependent.
Yes,
So,
exactly.
like, if we're like, I mostly play Recluse, and like most of the scenes are pretty bad for Recluse.
Yeah, but that doesn't
Like,
inherently mean it's true. Yeah, exactly.
yeah,
So just so that way, so anyone that's watching, right? This isn't one of those things where they're basing it off of their favorite characters or they're basing it off of the scenes. No, this is just the fight itself, and then tips on potentially some of the bosses that may or may not get extra bonuses from some of the shifting earths. Gladius themselves, though, the pupper, the first one, honestly, I think it's just mid. It's not anything crazy, and I don't think it's supposed to be. I think it's designed to be the intro boss fight that you have.
yeah. Though it does its job as intro boss fight well.
Yeah.
Like it eases you into the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like
it shows you some counter abilities because whenever it splits up, if you hit it with enough holy damage, it will pacify them so they're not constantly aggressing you.
Yeah, they'll still be aggressive, just not crazy.
Yeah, it shows you pros and cons of bringing the weaknesses to the bosses. So, yeah, I'm going to put that there. I think that's a square place to say puppers are just mid. Next is Adele. Honestly, my problem with Adele is that the gimmick doesn't even work on it at phase 2 or phase 3. I know that's getting into the Everdarks, but just for clarity, every boss here usually their gimmick works the entire time. Adele is the only boss in the entire roster where the gimmick does not work past phase 1. And I literally think that is a complete joke, because then why even say that this is the weakness? Because it works in the first phase. It makes it stop and throw up, and you can then get a chance to wail on it for a second. But after that, it's irrelevant. So then what is the point of bringing poison? You might also just do the whole shifting earth focus if you're trying to make this fight easy, and then for the Everdark as well.
Yeah, just go, just like, if you can, set it to the frostbite or wait till you have the mountaintop and then fight Adele.
Adele is considered a dragon.
Adele is considered a dragon. I don't think you need anything specific for any of these baseline bosses, to be honest. I think the Everdarks are where using scenes or using shifting earths is good, because you technically need to beat the Everdarks to be able to force shifting earths. So that being said, I think the baseline bosses, you really don't need to worry about it too much. But I will say for this boss specifically, Adele, I hate that the gimmick stops working in phase 2, because that defeats the point of what makes Adele more manageable. Is that the whole point is that they're hyper aggressive, and that poisoning them makes them stop attacking for a second. So if that's the point, then it defeats the point of it after it enters phase 2. So I think for that, I'm going to have to say this, just because the gimmick literally just stops working for no reason, but it still keeps all of its aggressiveness.
Yeah.
I will say that he also kind of counters one character in specific, Guardian. Just
yeah,
simply because he
Yes.
loves to grab spam.
yeah. Phase.
Yeah, Guardian just suffers due to grab spam because he can get grabbed out of his ult.
You can get
So
grabbed out of your ult, and you have the worst dodge in the game, meaning that you have to be on your stuff to constantly dodge the grabs. And phase 2 and phase 3 are definitely going to do that, which again we'll cover when we get to the Everdark itself. But that character can potentially suffer. Next we have what are these things called again?
Sentient Pest or Noster Wisdom of Night.
Yeah, Nasser.
So
Uh, I mean, it becomes like bullet hell in phase 2, if I'm not mistaken. Like phase 1 is like whatever, it's just like them chilling, and then phase 2, if I'm not mistaken, like
right.
it's just
Bullet hell and ramming.
it's just bullet hell
Yeah,
and
if
big AOE. They have like temper tantrums run around the map.
like if you're playing with 3 people, phase 2 just or like phase 1 is just one person distracts the moth while the other 2 wail on the scorpion. And
And if you have a ranged
phase
character,
2,
it's free. Then it's just like, oh, okay, I'll kill the moth, then it's free. And then everyone, if it's the rest of the people are melee, it's like cool, yeah, we just go smack the shell.
yeah.
Overall, I found the fight kind of unremarkable. They
Uh,
take a lot of damage from fire, bleed. Just yeah.
Most characters are just gonna have a field day with this because a lot of the common stuff is what beats them. Honestly, I just think I think they're just mid. I think they're a mid
It
fight.
is kind of a nice, easy fight if you're having like trouble with some of the others, but like
Yeah,
that's kind of about it.
yeah. You do have to be
Yeah.
careful. I think they're magic resistance, right?
Yeah, the moth specifically has a lot of magic resist.
Yeah. So just be careful with that. But next is Augur. Uh, I don't know. I
Such a
don't think that's
boring
Augur's.
fight.
Yeah, I don't think the Augur's actual name is Augur, but
Yeah,
I don't know. This fight is
kinda
not
boring.
good.
It's running me later.
It's
Yeah,
just
it's,
run around. It's very boring. Duchess suffers the most here because if you build into her strengths, which is short range daggers, it's very hard to actually hit this boss. And unless you have a ranged character, this boss is even more miserable to deal with.
yeah.
I don't know how you would possibly rework that in the original boss, but it's just not a very fun fight. There's not really any interaction. It's the sleep boss for a reason.
Yeah, yeah. Maris is a sleeper fight.
Yeah.
And do recommend having at least one long-range lightning attack for whenever it attempts to do either its nuke or its big sleep attack.
Yeah,
Any alts.
That's a very quick way to wipe, is to not have lightning against that.
If you have alts as well, you just have a DPS alt. You should be fine. At least the truth nuke, not too much of a problem. You just run away from it. But the sleepy attack, you definitely, if you have an alt, you'd want to use it for that. Next is Goatman himself. Not the Everdark version. I honestly think this fight is a great.
Man, first one?
Yeah, first
this
one.
Yeah.
is
I
good.
think this is a great fight.
Right. Yeah,
He's aggressive, but his attacks are not insane. The AoE spam means you have to be careful and not commit to crazy attacks if you don't want to get blasted by madness. He can burst you really quickly, or he can go down pretty quickly depending on how you play it.
magic casters kind of suffer in the fight because he likes to teleport to them.
Yeah,
Plus, the madness drains your FP.
yeah.
But as long
top
as
of
you're
that, you
careful with your FP you're should be fine.
And when it comes to his big madness phase transition, his super form, the ranged characters also suffer because they don't really have a way to knock him out of it outside of trying to knock out all the little sigils.
You mean so you'd have to be Hawkeye. You have to be Hawkeye, but actual
Iron Eye,
really, Iron Eye. Sorry, Jesus, Hawkeye. The best character to fight Libra is actually Raider. Reasoning being, your what is it, Stone of Estelle, or
Totem Stella.
Totem Estella? Yeah, Totem Estella breaks him out of his little bubble. But also, if you have a charged up character skill, when you do the giant uppercut, that also actually knocks him out of that. So you have two forms to actually pop him. So you can use your ult and blow him out of his little circle, and then you can use your uppercut attack and knock him out of his circle. It has to be the charged version though, where it's from taking damage. But you are fighting Libra, so that shouldn't be too hard as Raider, since you just want to trade anyways. But Yeah, Raider has a really good way of dealing with it. Next is Mr. Fulgore himself. The fight's fun, for sure. I will say though, if you don't get lightning, the fight definitely goes more towards the miserable side because he will spam that attack. He will spam his holy blades if you do not have lightning.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It honestly becomes kind of hell after that, but
yeah. If you have lightning, it's way more manageable. Phase 2 definitely changes the dynamic of how he fights because it turns into massive AoE attacks. But
if you stay right in his ass, like you can avoid the AoEs for the most part.
Exactly.
But
yeah,
there's nothing. There's no
he very
pro
much
thing to like.
He very much favors like close range characters.
Yeah.
But
Revenant suffers a lot. Faiths are very slow in general, so it makes it very hard. And you do get a lot of holy and fire, but again, a lot of the casting stuff is just too slow. So Revenant doesn't have anything fast enough to cast to really aggressively do it. So it can be really obnoxious if you do play as her.
So Recluse is the same way.
Yeah, Guardian Guardian does not care about this boss. Everything he does to Guardian is kind of irrelevant. So that is definitely a person that just kind of walls this guy off. But I think
is extremely good against him.
I think this is a pretty easy, pretty fun.
That's fair.
Yeah, he is a fun fight.
My girly Caligo.
Caligo, OG Caligo.
Caligo.
Honestly, I think she's too easy. I think OG Caligo's too. She's just like a giant walking pincushion. And the fire gimmick you don't really need to use against her, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Like you can just run it up, and the fire gimmick is irrelevant.
Yeah, but she is a fun fight.
Oh, she's fun for sure. It's just she's a little on the easy side, honestly.
Yeah.
Comparatively.
The hardest part, honestly, about her is judging the hitbox on her breath attacks. That's really the hardest part. But if you're taking breath attacks, you're not close enough.
Or if you don't know where she goes when she starts doing her big AoE ice blasts, when you have to hide behind rocks and stuff, if you don't see her, that can definitely hurt you. But other than that, it's a pretty straight. It's literally a straightforward fight. You're just fighting a big dragon. But I think because she's just kind of a walking pincushion, she goes into she's pretty fun.
Healstore.
Next is Healstore. This guy is just an aura farmer, to be honest. That's his entire fight, is he just aura farms you nonstop.
He has a lot of delayed attacks, so you got to be careful not to...
Yeah, he plays very differently. I don't think I have too many complaints with him, other than... And I haven't gotten it myself. I've never gotten Sleep or Madness from him in those forums. I've never had it. But, I mean, those could be annoying, possibly.
I've seen Sleep a few times. I've never seen him do Madness.
Yeah, I know he can do every type of elemental, but like I think I've gotten Lightning, Magic, Fire, the rest of them like Poison, Bleed, like all that or whatever.
I've gotten Frost more times than anything else.
Yeah, he's a good fight though. He's a good fight. I can't tell you what Holy does to him other than it's supposed to stop him from doing something. But. Every time I fight him, it's a fun fight every time, and it always feels like you have to kind of work for it. It never feels like he's easy. So
yeah, he is a good final boss.
He is absolutely a good final boss. I think that puts him right here. To be honest,
he's a great friend. Yeah,
he's just like you can load up and fight final boss and be like, yeah, dude, I lost to Healster, but damn. Now we're gonna do the order of how these guys came out. I think is the better way for the Everdarks because I think that makes more sense. So first would be Adele, and my complaints from phase 1 to 2 Adele to phase 2 and 3 Adele are the same. The poison gimmick is irrelevant. Now you have to deal with a gimmick. Yeah, the poison thing is there's no point to bring the poison, honestly. You might as well focus on Frost if you want to do that. The gimmick is really terrible. I do not like it. It's not terrible in the sense of I find it like, oh, it's killing me. I just think it's stupid that you have to essentially run away, but then also you have to get lucky and hope they don't land near you close enough, or you start taking damage while getting on the launch pads, and then also you have to launch pad.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's a fun gimmick. It's interesting the first time you do it, and then it just becomes tiresome afterwards, like immediately afterwards.
Mm-hmm. And my one complaint from the original Phase 1 and 2, his grab spamming becomes even worse in Phase 3 because now he has chain grab spams.
Yes. Also, too, all of the attacks have like AoE circles around them, too, so it can make dodging even trickier. So you can just take chip damage a bunch of times. The lightning AoE is pretty easy. Once you figure out the lightning timing,
AoEs come out, do note that whenever he does the waves, they don't instantly come out. You have to wait a minute.
It's delayed. Yeah, there's actual timing based. It takes some time to travel the distance. For Adele, if you're looking for a way to beat Adele pretty easily, I would definitely say go to the Ice Mountain. When you do it, you can get anti-dragon effect, and you can also get. I mean, that's for a different one, but you get the anti-dragon effect, and that actually does help a lot of your damage. And then also, if you can get dragon communion spells as well, those also do really well.
Yeah, there's a few select weapons that also do really good. Like, even though it's lightning, Bolt of Grand Sax does have anti-dragon on it.
Yeah.
And it can keep you at range from him, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, the light itself is weak too from the Grand Sax because it's anti-dragon.
Yeah.
I
think the fight is fun-ish, but I think, again, the fact that, like, the gimmick doesn't even work. And the problem is this boss, again, all these bosses start in Phase 2 usually, so this boss starts immune to their own gimmick. I can't in good consciousness say that this is a fun fight when the fact is the game tells you one thing, but it actually isn't true. The game actually just outright lies to you.
Yeah, it was a very rough introduction to the Everdarks.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I don't have a problem with it, but I would say honestly at best it's mid. It's a mid Everdark.
Yeah.
And
I really wish the gimmick just did something other than the fact that you could do it to him.
Yes, exactly. If the gimmick stopped them again in Phase 3, they're even more aggressive and they attack even more frequently. The gimmick even makes more sense that would work there. And again, you only get like 2 to 3 seconds before it's done. So that's 2 to 3 seconds you can burst, and then you have to stop again. Mm-hmm. Once you get more comfortable with this boss, you definitely can kill it a lot faster. That's for sure. I know we did it one time where we knocked down Phase 3 2 times in a row, and that's saying a lot because Adele likes to move on the list.
Stance. Also,
once we started killing him, we killed him every time after that.
But I still think that the fact that the gimmick doesn't work, but the gimmick actually is important to give you a chance to actually get an opening because of how mobile and like aggressive the boss is. Yeah, I think it's.
And the thing is, during the Phase 1 part of the fight, whenever you did poison him, if you had rot on him, it would also do it. He would take the full tick damage regardless of how long was left.
Yeah.
So even if he cut it short doing his little barf action, he still took the full damage.
Yeah, it's a good gimmick.
I don't know why they got rid of that.
That's my point, though, is like, how can you say that this boss has a gimmick and then the gimmick doesn't work?
Exactly.
Especially when the gimmick, again, this is like, that'd be like making Fulgor and say you need lightning, but all lightning does is make him take more damage, but he still does like all the massive AoE spamming, and you can't stop that. It'd be like, okay, but...
Yeah.
I'm not going to set myself to do lightning if it's just like, oh, I just do slightly more damage. It's like, that doesn't matter to me. I want to stop his, like, I want the gimmick to do something, like, actually have an impact on the fight. I think next wasn't the next one Fulgor?
Yeah, next was Fulgor, yes.
Honestly, this Fulgor, such an amazing fight. They start like he starts in Phase 2, which is terrifying because you already have the AoE spam plus you have to have lightning. But when you get to Phase 3 with this Fulgor, oh my god, is it a fun fight! Big AoE holy nukes, lots of twin blade attacks that are just based on you having to learn and get the timing down. Knowing your positioning and placement too when he's doing some of these attacks, so you can dodge properly. I love the Fulgor fight myself.
It's such a cool fight. Like, I hated normal Fulgor, but Everdark Fulgor, I will fight any day of the week.
Yeah.
Like,
He's so much more fun.
Mm-hmm.
he's
And
also, I believe he's also the fight that got me to love playing Raider. So,
Again,
and for his like giant aerial nuke, whenever he does that with his bow, just sit still until he's in his position, then run straight at him.
yep,
He will
absolutely.
land. He will. Yeah, his attack will miss you behind, and he will land on top of you, so you can just immediately start hitting him.
Exactly. Exactly. It's a fun fight. And the lightning gimmick doesn't work once she goes into phase 3, but he stops doing the holy AoE nukes. So he's still weak to lightning, so you get the DPS boost, but you don't have to worry about him doing random AoE nukes with his one gimmick attack anymore. He drops it for a different one. So
Or tries
yes,
to walk up. Peace.
yeah. So instead of just gaining more aggressiveness and like faster attacks, and then ignoring his gimmick, he just drops his whole gimmick attack in the first place. So you're not required to be like locked into that. So it's a good balance. It's like, to me, it's one of those things where okay, the gimmick doesn't work on him anymore, but he also doesn't do the thing the gimmick is required for. So it balances it out.
yeah.
Um,
So,
there's nothing honestly.
Yeah.
If you're gonna pick one for this guy, if you were trying to pick a shifting earth, I would either say the Nocleteo, or I would probably say the
honestly, all of them would work except for the Frostbite one, I think. Like,
yeah. I mean, the Frostman, you get a master or a legendary weapon out of it if you kill the ice dragon, but I would say all of them minus that one can be really effective. Maybe the route one not as much, just simply for the fact that he does move around a little bit, so you may not have a huge amount of time to constantly get your health back with it.
yeah, but you're still gonna get like rot weapons, which rot is a good status effect to apply on any boss. Like,
Exactly.
can be inflicted on him. So.
Yeah, he doesn't nullify a bunch of the different shifting earths. So I think he's very well deserved in the great time category.
Yeah, he's a very well balanced boss.
Next is the pests.
Which I like their
I
Everdark
really like
gimmick.
the third one.
Their gimmick is great.
I
I
like
have no problem with their gimmick. Actually, it becomes a triple fight where you're fighting 3 enemies. But if your team is smart at all in any capacity, even if you're playing with randoms, you kill whatever your team is built around. So if you're mostly ranged, you would obviously kill the moth more than the beetle. But if your team's mostly melee, you like keep the moth distracted with one person. You can like weaken it, kill the beetle, and it forces the third enemy, the main boss, to go inside the beetle, and then like you kill the beetle again, because you won't do enough damage to actually kill it a second time when it enters. But like when you do that, you can then kill the moth and keep the moth dead for the rest of the fight, pretty much. Or you can keep killing them you can keep killing them one after the other and kind of make it so that one is dead the entire time.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's a very well designed gank fight.
It is a very well designed gank fight, and it hurts even if you don't do damage to the enraged version when it gets possessed. It does percent damage to its health bar when it has to possess them. So it rewards you for also playing defensively and just killing the enemy that's not possessed, if that's how you want to play it too. Which is honestly pretty clever. So if you don't go that route, you get rewarded still for killing its entire health.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a terrible fact.
I think it's a fun fight. Fighting that boss, I've never said, wow, that some part of this was unfun or not enjoyable.
Yeah, the only part that could like be considered unenjoyable is when the moth is possessed, because it just goes full like a full bullet hell.
Toho mode.
Yeah, it goes Toho.
Yeah.
I will say the carapace getting possessed, doing its temper tantrum at the end, where it causes massive AoEs, can be obnoxious, but there's a delay to the explosions, so it's not a bullet hell. You just play around.
You kind of have to get used to the timing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the timing isn't different from his normal slam and drag ups, so as long as you know that,
more or less, you're
know
good.
where he's aiming. Yeah, just know where he's aiming.
Next one is I don't know. Again, I don't know. I can't
Next one
remember.
was Augur.
It's
Augur
Augur,
was the
yeah.
first of this group.
Yeah, but first of the last four. Again,
Honestly, I like this fight a lot, but that's just because of the gimmick is a really strong gimmick. Let's say that.
it's the gimmick is fine.
Storm.
I think the problem I have with this boss fight is that this boss fight you don't build DPS, you build defense unless you build skill power specifically. If you don't build for skill power, you build all defensively, and the problem is the rest of Nightreign is all a DPS game.
Yeah.
So
and you're not gonna know that going into it blind
the first time. You only know this. You only know this after learning about it. Like, ooh, I can take extra magic defense. I can take on casting of this, do this, or on this or that. I know. I like one time I was playing Guardian, and it was like, I got Holy Land as an Astrovore and a shield, and then you get the gimmick of Storm Ruler. So it's like I have infinite Holy Land, infinite FP. So you just sit inside this little spot and you can't die, but.
And if you get a holy healing seal for AoE, that person can just sit there. Oh, you guys took a little bit of damage, full heal.
Yeah.
Switch back
to magic defense cast up.
Keep going.
I know that happened once. I was playing Revenant and I was doing this, and I kept on casting magic resist for the whole team, and then I kept on casting blessings boon. So it's just like I have infinite casts of this. We don't even need to use flasks at this point. So it's just Augur's one of those fights where it's fine, but the way you have to build around it to make the final fight way more manageable means that you can potentially take a big hit on the rest of your damage. If your team is good enough, that won't matter too much, and you don't need to be hitting 15 every time to do the run. 12 is more than enough, especially if you're going for like good buffs against the boss. But I think the problem is that this boss plays entirely differently than the rest of every other boss in the game, and because of that, it's not a DPS check; it's a sustain check. That it becomes more of an issue.
Yeah, it's definitely a better fight. Yeah, it's a better fight than original Augur, but it's like I've never been a fan of Storm Ruler fights.
It's just gimmick fights. Yeah, right. It's just a gimmick fight. Noclateo is the only one that's actually worth doing for this guy because everything else is irrelevant. Your weapons don't matter because you're gonna get a new weapon during the fight anyways. So
that you're forced to use.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it has to go here. It's a whatever fight. But I think what hurts it is just. I think what hurts it honestly the most is that you have to you're not casting spells. So as a Revenant and Recluse, building for spell cost reduction and spell speed casting and all that stuff, the spell speed can be good if you go for defensive spells and incantations. But otherwise, like going for pure damage against Augur is just such a damage to the caster characters because that's kind of the whole shtick that you're going to build for anyways normally. So
if like they actually made Storm Ruler a spell instead of an Ash of War for Recluse and Revenant, that would be great. But
exactly. Next is Caligo.
Yeah, Caligo is up next.
I like this fight a lot, actually.
It's a very cool fight.
Fine with this fight. I don't think I have any complaints. The tail beam explosions are kind of obnoxious. I'm not gonna lie. That is
yeah, it can be really annoying to dodge.
Yeah, trying to tell
latency.
Yeah, trying to tell where they're gonna hit can be awkward sometimes.
Yeah, I really don't have a problem with the fight though. The fire gimmick isn't necessary again. I'm sure it does something, blah blah blah, whatever it does. But
I think it does help break her ice armor faster. But
this fight's just paying attention to what your team is doing, so you need to know where to hit her and where not to. And I like that gimmick actually a lot. I think that's a fine gimmick.
Yeah, and honestly, for the most part, in Phase 3, you'll want to spend most of your time at the edge of the arena. It kind of helps nullify most of her attacks.
Yeah, it's actually hilarious. So. When she does her bombing runs, quite literally, if you sit near the fog wall at the edge of the arena, because of how it is, she also can't pass the fog wall. So it forces her AI to do really bad angles on your team, meaning sometimes you can just stand still and not have to actually dodge at all.
Yeah.
And if you're going for shifting earth for her, it's just the mountaintops, without a doubt.
Yep.
Yeah.
Anti-dragon, and also you get the final upgrade with the frost resist at the top of the mountain.
You
Even
get
if you
multiple
don't want to
frost
kill the
resist
dragon, that buff alone plus the anti-dragon effect that you can get from the mountain is just so good that it is 100% worth. If you want the fight to be much easier, I should say.
So nice.
My biggest tip for the fight is stay as close as possible.
Yes. She is a ranged based fighter, so her weakness is being up in her, fighting her. And then if you
Staying
get
in
distance,
pursuit.
it becomes a big problem because you get a lot of more the big AoE, hard to tell how to dodge, super damaging if you get hit kind of attacks.
The
Honestly,
tail swipes and the breaths.
I think she's.
Honestly, it's a great time.
I think it's a great time. I think she's another one of those bosses where uh, it's just one of those things where it's
Really well made.
yeah, it's just well made and it's fun.
Well balanced.
Yep.
Uh,
And next,
Alright.
we're going the complete opposite.
Next is you are a self-reported Dark Souls 2 enjoyer. Let's just be very clear. This boss fight is not well thought out. The design is interesting, sure. How it was implemented, abysmal, absolutely abysmal. Libra is probably the worst boss I've ever seen from FromSoft since like Dark Souls 2 and honestly, the painted DLC from Dark Souls 3. I think is the worst designed boss I've seen in a while from a FromSoft game.
Yeah, honestly.
Like, don't get me wrong, a lot of the games are cool. Forcing negative effects on the team and like you have to play around that. I love that idea. The one ability he casts where he splits the arena into 4 sections and then you have to play around in that. Again, awesome. Love that.
Yeah. But constantly summoning mods or mobs to fucking kill you, like, and if you don't kill them fast enough, he buffs them and fully heals them. That's not okay, especially with how often he does it.
Yeah.
And
My
on top of
problem
it,
isn't
they
the
are
ads.
quite tanky and they do a lot of damage.
Yeah.
Yes, the builds are random. They're depending on what you are, but it's just too often.
It's the damage they do because if you're gonna treat this guy like a Dark Souls 2 boss, which is exactly what he is because he plays exactly like one. I myself, the boss, am a joke and pathetic and can't do anything. It's just enemy density cranked up to 1,000,000. Get wrecked, nerd. And the only way to deal with it is massive AOE's. And if you see people online with like easy clears on this, and then all you see is them spamming massive AOE's, yeah, those are god tier runs. If they're showing you that, this isn't the average run you're gonna get where you're forced to have random. Whoops, I maybe got one AOE at best if it's even an AOE. If you even get an AOE, the spawning sequencing is just insanely borked, and it needs to be set. There's a pretty easy way to fix it, and the fight would actually be in a lot better place, where it's like every minute, if the ads aren't dead, spawn more. If you kill the ads, you have 5 seconds of freedom to attack him, and then it's back to ad spam again.
Yeah.
And if they weren't to do that, that's fine. But again, if you're spawning ads, the ads should be weak and do less damage. The ads should not be able to one shot you in any capacity. And if if any of them backstab you, just like Dark Souls 2, it's instant death.
Yeah. Honestly, I'd cut their HP in half so that it's easier to drop, so you can immediately get back into doing something else.
Yeah, I mean,
They cut their HP in half, make him summon them less often, or make it so he gets like something happens to him if you're fighting them. Like, yeah, I know his aggro is turned down while the mobs are around, but that's not enough
no.
with how this fight is at the current moment.
And the thing is, he's not really a threat, because his attacks are still basically the exact same as Phase 1. He doesn't have
They are
a
phase
super
1. They are phase 1 attacks. He goes back to phase 1 attack gimmicks. It's just that now he just spawns debuffs on you, and then he just spams ads. And that's just a Dark Souls 2 boss. And that's not a good thing. Dark Souls 2 bosses are just obnoxiously boring. Stand there, the boss does the same thing a million times, and it's either ad spam or it's garbage gimmick that's added to the fight for it to be hard. Like Duke's Dear Freya. That fight is just boring and lame, and all it is just enemy density cranked up to 1 billion to quote-unquote make it difficult. The boss itself is easy. It's just that, well, we don't know how to make the boss interesting, so we'll just add 1 million ads to it. That way it becomes kill the ads instead of actually playing it with the boss. And if the point of the boss is to not play the game, then make a new boss.
I would say this fight would have been a great time if it wasn't for the ad spam.
No, the ads just need to be toned down, yeah.
Great.
Like, this fight had such good potential, and it was squandered.
No, this is 100% deserved.
Until they change his fight, like, he's gonna be sitting at the bottom of our list.
He's
terrible.
It's gonna be an easy way to lose a run.
He's the only boss too that I think I've consistently lost to more than 5 times straight. Every other boss here after the 3rd try, if it took 3 tries, it was cleared no problem. This is the only boss where it's every time we clear it, it is. Yep, that was just all RNG. It wasn't because our team was smart or we played smart. It was just literally RNG is what dictated how we did this. Where every other boss fight here is you play good, you win. Whereas his fight is you play good, yeah, you might win. Because it's all RNG. He can spawn ads and then immediately spawn more ads. So it's just like, cool, you have 6 people running around. Good luck, I guess.
All of these bosses, I know I've beaten more than once. He is the only one I've beaten once. Because after I beat him the one time, I refused to fight him again.
It's not a well designed
It's not fun.
How it came out, the design is bad. How it could be, the design would be good. It's just there needs to be things that I tweaked on it. But until then, yeah, no, the boss is just not in a great. It's not in a good place, and it's not good for like an experience to play. Nah, it's not worth.
He really was the embodiment of potential man.
Yeah, I mean it is funny. It is funny. You have a duality, right? You have top of the list, Goat Man. Bottom of the list, Goat Man. Truly balanced.
Balance is all things should be.
Exactly.
He is chaos incarnate.
I would love for him to be here like this, but unfortunately, it's just got to be. It's got to be like that until it gets changed. Because I want to like the fight. There's no reason I don't want. There's no reason to not want to enjoy the fight. It's just. However they did it was not it. Yeah.
Just ads, yeah.
It's just ad spamming. I don't want a final boss to be ad spam. I want a final boss to be like I'm actually fighting the boss.
Yeah. So and my tips for trying to beat him.
AoE.
Really hard.
Shifting Earth. You want Noclateo.
100%.
Noclateo is.
You want you want good RNG, and if you get mid RNG, you could help mitigate some of it. Like if let's say someone gets Nihil. Noclateo does have a mausoleum in there guaranteed, so you can have that one player duplicate it, give it to someone else, duplicate it again. Now all 3 of you have it. And if you don't get any really good weapons, you can use Noclateo to dupe a passive on another item that you want more of. And of course you get the free revive at the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, free revive with bigger HP bar and more attack power for a limited time.
Yeah.
No, it's just...
That's honestly the best way to take care of it.
Now, the one unfortunate thing with Noclateo is if you get Wending Grace, it's useless, but,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they fixed that.
If they fix it, it's not been since I've done it, and I've done it pretty recently.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they fixed that. Since the solo runs were also having an issue with it.
I can't say for sure on that one, but if they haven't at the recording of this, yeah, Winning Grace plus Noctateo actually it just cucks you because you use both at the same time, which is heartbreaking.
Yeah. Like, cool, I have 2 chances to maybe save the team. Nope.
Nope, you had one. Whoops. I mean, what you could realistically do is you could bring the Winning Grace into the fight, drop it in the fight, and then go pick it back up. But like that's so extra for something that should just be programmed into the game.
Mhm.
Yeah, plus you need to hope that either the boss isn't just like standing on it, or
Remember where it's at.
remember where it's at, because the fields look all exactly the same for the most part.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah,
no.
it's very unreliable.
Mm-hmm. But there's only one person left now. That's our boy Gladius.
The doggo of doggos.
Super Glado.
The dark pupper. I honestly love this fight.
It's such a cool fight.
It's a cool fight. The fight wants you to be aggressive. It also punishes you for being too aggressive, because when he does his taunt, you can actually buff him to make his attacks hit harder until he does the big AoE blast. This fight kind of has everything. When he splits up into different forms, depending on how you handle how you handle them in the mob form, can be very annoying. But if you pacify them with Holy, or if you're smart about how you deal with them, it doesn't have to be too much of a problem. The boss hits really, really, really hard as well, so it punishes you for being bad at timing or for catching you slipping and
That's
messing
kind of
up.
suck for squishier characters like Recluse and Revenant.
Oh yeah,
But
100%.
Wrong move and he just blaps you.
Yeah,
Oh, you were
100%.
casting?
But
You chose wrong.
it's one of those things where it's like you take the first you take the first boss, and then you turn it into, I'm going to punish you for making mistakes. Also, I'm going to punish you for trying to sit far away from me, but I'm also going to punish you from being too aggressive and constantly attacking me without paying attention to what I'm doing. I think it's perfect because it teaches you to be aggressive at certain times and then patient and passive at certain times.
Yeah.
You kind of get the best of both worlds in that sense.
Yeah, it's a good boss because it teaches you throughout the fight, and like you're like, okay, I fucked up. It's not like, oh, I lost to RNG. It was my fault. I did bad.
Yeah, when this boss hits you, it's like, oops, I didn't dodge properly. Or, oops, I read that attack wrong. Or, oops, I attacked and I overextended myself. I should have waited. This isn't, oh, something beyond my control is like directly going against Libra over here. It's not, oh, well, RNG wasn't in my favor, so I just got cucked and I lost. It's like, no, I played bad, so I lost. So it's just like, what you win, you win because you won, not because arbitrary things out of your control happen.
The only potential thing out of your control that could fuck you over is if your teammate's being bad and is luring attacks into you. But like,
yeah, do be aware of where your teammates are lining up the doggos whenever it's in split form, because that can easily just.
And when in split form, I would definitely say split up as well. Keep them away from each other. That way, it's just easier to handle all of them split up. But I think this is honestly the best fight out of all of the bosses, even the base ones. I think this is the best fight. And I've lost to this guy countless times now, even after beating him. And I don't care. I just like fighting him. Even win or lose, it's just like, damn, I had fun. Everything about this fight is fun. It's epic. It's epic in scale when you watch him whipping around, exploding everything. It's fun and challenging in a good way. It's also the gimmick still works even in Phase 3. It pacifies him and makes him less aggressive, which is insane to think, because every other boss here pretty much loses their gimmick in Phase 3 except for this guy. So it's like it keeps the original gimmick. It still uses it, and then you get so much more stuff with it too. And then you get new fun attacks and everything like that. I don't think there's unless we get new bosses, maybe a new Everdarks or whatever, I don't think we're going to have a better boss than this.
Yeah. I know they've
real
confirmed
complaint someone could have is that he just does too much damage, because, like, let's be honest here, one wrong move, he will one-shot you.
I mean, that's
But
only
at the
for his.
same
It's
time,
only for his
he's-
fire attacks, though.
Yeah. Like, he is peak Soul style design of each attack is very clear in what he is doing. The dodge timing you can learn very easily by seeing it once or twice, and then all it is recognizing the pattern from then on.
Exactly.
Peak Souls design.
Yeah, I know they did say that they are gonna drop more bosses whenever we get the DLC, but for now, Gladius Everdark is one of the best, if not the best, Nightreign boss in
Like,
at least in my personal opinion.
I think this is one of the best Souls bosses, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
because
Plus,
this boss
it's
designed for a co-op fight, so that's why it's even more enjoyable. Because if you have friends and you want to fight this thing, it isn't like Elden Ring, Dark Souls 3, Dark Souls Remaster, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls Scholar of the First Sin, yada yada yada, where all of those bosses are designed for 1v1s, and then you add people to it and the bosses become a joke because the AI can't deal with multiple people. Versus like Gladius is specifically designed for co-op, so it becomes so much more fun when you're playing with people, and the boss feels like everything is working, and everything feels like it's working as it should, but also like that you have control over how the fight progresses.
Yeah. Also, like the fight is so like cinematic. Like you come into the arena that you first walked into when you started the game. It's on fire. Then you see the dog sitting, holding its sword, looking away from you, and then the other two spawn in, and the fight starts. That's such a cool way to start a fight.
Exactly.
He's like, I've been waiting for you this entire time.
It's
time for the rematch.
I've been training since
it's literally a run it back. It's literally a run it back moment where he says, "All right, dog,
Right.
run it back," and then it's like, "Okay, doggo's got hands."
A dog trained with the final boss.
It's literally his dog.
It's his pupper.
Exactly.
Although I will never unhear his super blast sounding like Tom screaming from Tom and Jerry.
Yes, it does sound
will
like
never
Tom
hear
screaming. It's so funny, and if you're watching this and you fight him or you already fought him, and then you hear it and you can't unhear it, sorry but not sorry. It is so funny that it is literally Tom screaming from Tom and Jerry. So ridiculous. The only thing I can say is, tip-wise, just be aware of your teammates and their positioning. If you're playing as Recluse or Revenant, Holy Discs or the triple Holy Discs are insane. If you get Wrath of Gold, do not use it. It is not worth it. Just switch to like a melee style play style.
I mean, Wog has
Radigan's-
one use, and that's revive, as Wog will take out one bar by itself.
No.
Yeah, Radigan's Rings of Light is also another good spell.
Yes, that one can hit. That one goes through all of them. Yeah, and that does a lot of damage too. So that one is such a big AOE that it's actually worth. Wog is not big enough to warrant using it for how slow it is. Where Radigan's Rings are actually, it's a massive AOE and it can hit everything as well. So it does everything Wog does, but just better.
And
Yeah.
even though it doesn't do a lot of damage, it is a lot of ticks of holy with Elden Stars. It does use a lot of FP, so you do have to be wary of that. But it is at least a way to keep holy constantly applied to the boss.
I would say if you're gonna use Elden Stars, be a Recluse. If you get lucky with it.
Yes.
I would say only Recluse. I would only recommend Recluse unless your team hooks up your Revenant with a bunch of Starlight Shards, you know?
Bunch of Starlight Shards, and they have a bunch of FP reduction passives.
Yeah. I think for... honestly, any of them work again. Any of the... I will say the Frost one is probably... The Mountaintop is probably the worst because you don't need Frost resistance to Gladius.
Also, he's very frost resistant. It's going to take you a long time to apply Frostbite.
Yeah.
If you get Frostbite weapons.
But the other ones are all good, for sure. The other ones are all good. Knock the Tail probably is, I would probably say, is your best bet at the beginning if you're trying to learn Gladius, because you do get a self-revive then, so you do get a free whoops, we screwed up.
Yeah.
Free dupe if you get any really good weapons on top of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and honestly, really the only status effects that are good against Gladius are Bleed, Rot, and Sleep. but Sleep's hard to proc with how mobile he is, and there's not many options for applying it. So you'll really want to go Bleed and Rot. So Rotwoods would probably be your better option if you wanted to try that route.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's it. So we got to put him in. We got to put him on the tier list. So obviously, he's going to go in the best spot, the Pupper experience, clearly, because where else would Gladius go? The best boss deserves the best slot, and it is the Pupper. So that's the tier list. Obviously, this is subjective, but this is where we would put everything at, more or less. Also, too, trying to keep in mind how the bosses play, how they, all that stuff as well. So I don't think there's anything else to touch on. We'll have to see, obviously. I don't think we're going to get a Holster, but I could be wrong. But as of now, this is everyone.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know people have found images for Everdark Holster in the game files, but whether they actually use it or not is subject to whatever happens in the future. But it's also game files, so that's not something to completely rely on.
Yeah, because there's a lot of stuff that always does things like that, or a lot of games that just have stuff in the files that don't get finished.
Yeah, there's always cut content and
yeah. But that's the list. So I hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you next time. Bye.
yeah.